Vermont is renowned for its breathtaking landscapes, featuring the majestic green and white mountains that stretch across its horizon. This small New England state is synonymous with its iconic maple syrup, standing proudly as the largest producer in the United States. Beyond its natural resources, Vermont is home to charming small towns like Burlington, where a vibrant arts and cultural scene thrives. It's also the birthplace of Ben & Jerry's, the world-famous ice cream brand that has become a symbol of creativity and community values. The state carries a legacy of progressive movements, playing a pivotal role in the fight for human rights and environmental conservation. Vermonters are celebrated for their deep commitment to organic farming, sustainability, and preserving their natural surroundings. This spirit of care and responsibility has cemented Vermont's reputation as a leader in ecological stewardship. Yet, beneath its picturesque scenery lies a complex social fabric. Vermont grapples with significant challenges, including homelessness, debates over gun control, illegal immigration, and an escalating opioid crisis. These pressing issues reveal the contrasts between the state's serene beauty and the societal struggles it faces, painting a layered portrait of life in Vermont. Vermont is a small state in the northeastern United States, nestled within the historic New England region. It shares borders with Massachusetts to the south, New Hampshire to the east, New York to the west, and Quebec, Canada, to the north. With a population of just 643,503 as of 2020, Vermont ranks as the second least populated state in the country. Its capital, Montpelier, holds the distinction of being the least populated state capital in the U.S., while Burlington, the largest city, is modest in size compared to urban centers in other states. The state is famed for its green mountains, quaint small towns, and iconic covered bridges that evoke a sense of timeless Americana. Vermont's economy centers on agriculture, particularly maple syrup production, where it leads the nation. In 2021, Vermont's gross domestic product, GDP, was approximately $40.6 billion, making it the state with the smallest economy in the U.S. Vermont is also rich in unique trivia. For instance, Montpelier is one of the few state capitals without a McDonald's, and Vermont is one of only 4 U.S. states that were once independent nations. In 1978, Burlington gave rise to Ben & Jerry's, an ice cream brand that became a global icon of quirky flavors and social consciousness. Moreover, Vermont has a legacy of innovation, being the birthplace of the socket wrench in 1863. Vermont's charm lies in its blend of natural beauty, historical significance, and cultural richness, offering visitors and residents a truly distinctive experience. Beneath Vermont's picturesque landscapes and its reputation as a tranquil haven lie 2 pressing issues that weigh heavily on this small state: a rising homelessness crisis and a surge in illegal immigration along its northern border. Vermont has the second highest homelessness rate in the United States, trailing only New York. As of January 2023, an alarming 51 out of every 10,000 Vermont residents were without stable housing, a staggering 18.5% increase from the previous year. This growing crisis stems from a lack of affordable housing, the expiration of pandemic-era relief programs, and a high rate of evictions. While 96% of Vermont's homeless population is sheltered in emergency accommodations or transitional housing, experts warn that these programs face sustainability challenges due to limited resources. Without significant intervention, the situation could worsen dramatically. Meanwhile, illegal crossings at Vermont's northern border with Canada have skyrocketed, In the 2023 fiscal year, border agents apprehended approximately 7,000 migrants from 66 countries, including India, Haiti, and Venezuela. This surge was initially driven by Canada's lenient visa policies, which made it easier for migrants to enter the U.S. through Vermont's remote and rugged border regions. Many of these individuals face severe risks, including drowning, hypothermia, and the physical toll of navigating harsh wilderness terrain. Despite efforts to bolster border security, migrants often fall prey to human smuggling networks that exploit their desperation, sometimes with fatal consequences. Border agents, too, face escalating threats, including violent confrontations with smugglers. These intertwined crises of homelessness and illegal immigration underscore Vermont's complex struggle to balance protecting local communities with extending aid to those in dire need. Another stark reality for Vermont residents is the state's extraordinarily high cost of living, among the steepest in the United States. Despite its small population and an economy reliant on tourism, daily life here presents significant financial challenges for many. The elevated cost of living in Vermont can be attributed to several factors, with logistics being a primary concern. As a remote state far from major production and distribution hubs, transporting goods to Vermont incurs steep expenses. Essential items like groceries, fuel, and building materials must travel long distances from neighboring states such as Maine or New York, driving up prices. Housing represents another formidable barrier. Limited supply coupled with high demand, particularly from out-of-state buyers seeking vacation homes, has sent property prices soaring. Strict regulations aimed at preserving Vermont's rural charm and expensive construction costs further complicate efforts to build new homes. These costs, encompassing logistics, taxes, and labor, create an almost insurmountable challenge for prospective homeowners. Vermont's long winters exacerbate these financial pressures. Heating homes during the frigid months consumes significant resources, while the freeze-thaw cycles wreak havoc on roads, vehicles, and plumbing systems, leading to constant repairs and replacements. Adding to the strain are Vermont's high taxes, which fund public services and rural infrastructure. While residents benefit from excellent public education and health care, the heavy burden of property and income taxes forces many families to work tirelessly just to stay afloat. For some, Vermont's idyllic beauty is overshadowed by the harsh reality of living costs that outpace incomes. Far from being a serene refuge, the state has become an economic battleground for many of its residents. Vermont, known for its progressive cannabis laws and a strong culture of firearm ownership, faces a unique legal conundrum. Residents are often forced to choose between the freedom to use cannabis legally and the right to own firearms. While Vermont permits the use of cannabis for both medical and recreational purposes, federal law paints a starkly different picture. Under the Federal Gun Control Act of 1968, cannabis remains a controlled substance, and anyone who uses it, whether for medical or recreational purposes, is prohibited from purchasing or possessing firearms. This legal contradiction creates a precarious divide for medical cannabis users in Vermont. On one hand, they are following state law to address health needs. On the other, their firearm ownership is rendered illegal under federal regulations. For many, this conflict remains an unknown hazard until they encounter it firsthand. A key flashpoint lies in the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives (ATF) background check form, which explicitly asks applicants if they use cannabis. Many individuals, unaware of the implications, may inadvertently provide false information. This simple misstep can lead to severe federal charges, leaving law-abiding residents caught between two opposing legal frameworks. long considered one of the safest states in the United States, Vermont now confronts a stark and troubling reality: a surge in gun violence that threatens the sense of security its residents once cherished. Over the past year, firearm-related deaths in the state have spiked dramatically, rising from 7 in 2021 to 20 in 2022, an alarming 185% increase. The majority of gun-related fatalities in Vermont are suicides, particularly among men. With approximately 43% of households owning firearms, the risks of accidental injuries and deaths are also significantly heightened. On average, 74 Vermonters lose their lives to gun-related incidents annually, with an additional 39 people sustaining firearm-related injuries severe enough to require medical attention. One of the most chilling events of 2023 was the shooting of 3 Palestinian students in Burlington, a tragedy that sent shockwaves through the community. Occurring amid a nationwide increase in threats against Muslim and Arab populations, this incident underscored the growing reach of gun violence, even in Vermont's traditionally peaceful rural towns. The escalation in firearm violence also reveals systemic weaknesses in Vermont's law enforcement capabilities. Police staffing shortages, estimated between 15% and 25%, have severely hampered the state's ability to respond to violent incidents and conduct thorough homicide investigations. In light of these challenges, local communities have stepped in to fill the void, with initiatives such as neighborhood patrols in Castleton reflecting grassroots solidarity. However, mistrust in the effectiveness of law enforcement remains a significant hurdle. Gun violence in Vermont has now evolved into a pressing public health crisis. But the state also faces another equally urgent challenge: the opioid epidemic. Over the past decade, opioid-related overdose deaths in Vermont have surged nearly 500%, largely driven by the spread of fentanyl, a synthetic opioid up to 50 times stronger than heroin. Fentanyl's devastating potency not only slows breathing and heart rates to life-threatening levels, but also alters brain chemistry, fostering an addiction that ravages individuals and communities alike. To combat this crisis, Vermont's Department of Health has adopted a comprehensive strategy that includes public awareness campaigns, expanded community support services, and enhanced healthcare systems. Despite these efforts, the challenges remain daunting. Addressing the fallout from this epidemic will require sustained commitment to saving lives and rebuilding the social fabric that opioids have so deeply fractured.